Assalamu alaikum, family. This is Ryan X coming to you live on here. Today is Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through the week. We have 2 more days before the weekend will be upon us. I hope that you all are having a blessed and wonderful day, or have had a blessed and wonderful day so far. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful week, and the likelihood that you're having one of those days, because in this life, we know that a little rain must fall from time to time. Always, always, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting to the topic for this video, a good brother of mine out of Atlanta, my brother Aaron, good, dear, beloved brother of mine, he sent me a video on Yahoo, on Messenger, where it was, I think it was about 19 or 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute video, um, excerpt of this conversation that Judge Joe Brown, we know Judge Joe Brown from his time when he was a TV judge on the Judge Joe Brown show on CBS. He did an excellent job on there. I'm a fan of Judge Joe Brown, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. And the real Dana, they've been doing podcasts together for about a couple of years, not about a few years now. I don't know Dana's name. I think her last name is Scallion. I think that may be her last name. But in any event, they had a conversation regarding civil war amongst the black community. Why are we fighting each other instead of the system? And from the snippet that my brother sent me, it was a pastor. I don't know this pastor's name. I can't remember his name, but there was a pastor on there, a bishop, and they had different people call in, what so have you, and give their take. And so the this pastor, I can't remember who this brother's name for the life of me. But in any event, this bishop blamed hip hop for the demise of the black community. He said, and I may be paraphrasing, but he said that the downfall of the black community started with when hip hop came about, when hip hop came on the scene. That's what this man said. And I think that is a bold faced lie. I think that's a cop out. Yes, I will agree on this. What hip hop has become is leading to the downfall of our community. What it has become. What it was in the past, no. Because those of you who are old enough to remember, myself included, when hip hop first came on the scene, that was our voice. Hip hop gave a voice to the voiceless, those in the urban community. No matter if you was in the Bronx, in the South Bronx, if you was on the south side and west sides of Chicago, if you was on the west side and east sides of Detroit, if you was in Compton or South Central in LA, if you was in the third or fifth wards in Houston, if you was in Liberty City in Miami, in West Atlanta, in North, South, or West Philly, no matter where you were at, hip hop was a voice for you. Even if you weren't in the urban centers, like I mentioned, Detroit, Philly, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, LA. If you weren't in any of those cities, if you was like in a small town, all black town, it still gave you a voice because we all was suffering under Reaganomics, aka the war on drugs. Those of you who old enough to remember. So we know when they put crack in the community, in our communities, hip hop spoke out against that. Hip hop gave a voice to us. Hip hop was like, and this pastor, what he failed to realize is that hip hop was starting a new movement in the late 80s and early 90s. Those of y'all who old enough to remember this, y'all could back me on this. Hip hop was starting a black power movement because hip hop was teaching the youth, was teaching the young people about Black history, about Brother Malcolm, about they had the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, of the Nation of Islam. They had them in a lot of videos. Public Enemy had them in their videos. Um, they had our late great brother, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He was on Public Enemy's album, on Ice Cube's albums. X Clan. They was telling us about ancient Kemet. KRS-One, the teacher. He was telling us about Black greatness, about ancient Egypt, Kemet, all that. Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian. There was a new Black Power movement that was being created by hip hop in the late 80s and early 90s. NWA was speaking out against police brutality. F the police. Ice-T was telling us about the dangers of selling drugs. Hell, KRS-One had a song, "Love's Gonna Get You." Love's gonna get you, gonna get you. Y'all remember that song? So for him to say that, he's missing the mark. Before I go any further, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button now. Hit that subscribe button so you get notifications of whenever I do videos on here. But he's missing the mark. And that's what's the problem with these older our elders. They want to blame hip hop. And when I was watching listening to these 20 minutes of this conversation, everybody wanted to blame hip hop. They wanted to blame this. They wanted to blame that. Even Judge Joe Brown. God bless Judge Joe Brown. I'm a fan of his. But Judge, you need to step aside. Judge Joe Brown, you're almost 80 years old. You're 78 years old, sir. You're out of touch. I mean, your heart's in the right place, and you were on the forefront of the Black Power movement of the 60s and 70s, and we appreciate you for your service. Salute to you. But sir, you need to step aside and let the younger people from Generation X and the millennials, those who have common sense, you need to let us take the forefront. Just like y'all, the baby boomers, took the forefront from the previous generations, we need to do the same thing. We need to step aside. Excuse me, y'all need to step aside gracefully, respectfully, and let us handle this. Have y'all noticed that there isn't any Gen Xers in politics and high levels of government? Look at the president, Trump. Trump has been president. This is his second go around as president. Trump is almost 80 years old. Trump just turned 79 years old, y'all. 79. They had to put Joe. They had to pretty much replace Creepy Joe. That man is 83. Hillary Clinton is damn near 80. Bernie Sanders is in his 80s, mid 80s. These people are too old. Nancy Pelosi is 84 years old, 85 years old. You cannot do 1964 things in the year 2025 and expect the same result. You just cannot do it. What worked 60 years ago won't work today. Yes, we have the same problems that we did 60 years ago, and it's gotten worse, but we need to handle it in a different way. We can't go around singing, "We shall overcome," and pray and march. Them days are over with. Them days are over with. We cannot do that now. So I respect my elders. I love them. But their time is come and going. Give it to the Gen Xers. We're getting older. We don't have that much time. Well, we have what, 15, 20 more years? We're going to have to hand it over to the millennials. Then they're going to have to hand it over to the generation after them, and so on and so forth. So we just, that pastor, that bishop missed the mark because he didn't mention how hip hop was starting a new Black Power movement. Y'all remember people were rocking the African medallions, talking about going back, talking about they love Africa. They wanted to learn about their roots, learn about ancient Kemet, ancient Kush, ancient Egypt, that the builders of the pyramids were black. That was hip hop artists that were teaching us that. We weren't learning that in school. We were learning that from, again, KRS-One, X-Clan, Public Enemy. We were learning all about our greatness from these brothers. Learning about Brother Malcolm. So he missed the mark. So when hip hop from 1988 till about 92, that was the glory years of hip hop. And that's when the powers that be, who are of the Jewish community, let's keep it 1,000 on here, that's when it ushered in gangster rap. That's when the Snoop Dogs came in. You know, calling our women B's and hoes. When Snoop Dogg, oh my God, disrespected the black woman by having her on a leash on stage. Do y'all remember that? He had a black woman on leash. I forgot what award show it was. He had a black woman on her knees on a dog leash. Like he was walking her like I walk my dog. That's when they start issuing, you know, us killing each other. Walaikum salam, black man. How you doing? I mentioned you earlier. Salute, brother. Thank you for tuning in. My good brother, Brother King Lee. Good to see you. Good to see you, soldier. But that's when they start ushering that in. Started glorifying drug dealing. Calling our women B's and hoes. The Dr. Dre, that era. The gangster rap. The Doggy Style album. Then, now pay attention. So you got 93, that's when they start coming in. Well, 92 is when um The Chronic came out, late 92. And then 93. So you got that. Then Doggy Style came out in 93. But I'm gonna back up because late 91, NWA's album, Niggas for Life, ushered in The Chronic. Yes, I'm gonna repeat that again. NWA's last album, Niggas for Life, which, by the way, Ice Cube was not part of because he had broken away from NWA and went solo. Niggas for Life ushered in The Chronic, which was, ironically enough, a year later in 92. Then, 92 into 93, late 93, you had Doggy Style, Snoop's debut album. Then that's when the floodgates open for the effery, because 94 Pac got shot in New York the first time. He got shot in New York, and that incident sparked the East Coast West Coast beef. So y'all see how all this is tying in, how connected those dots from 91 to about 94, 95, that 4-year period. Y'all see how I connected the dots? 91, Niggas for Life. 92, The Chronic. 93, Doggy Style. 94, Pac gets shot in New York. Pac says that Biggie set him up, Biggie and Diddy set him up, and that ushered in the East Coast West Coast rivalry, which a lot of people benefited from tremendously, especially financially. Not just the Jewish handlers of Diddy and Suge, but they did too. Rolling Stone magazine, um, Vibe magazine, The Source. They've been because they kept putting it out there. I never, I think it was The Source. They had a on their cover. They had a Biggie and Diddy on one side, and Pac and Suge on one side, and there was a crack in the middle. Y'all remember that? East versus West. Why even put that out there? And then Snoop, stupidly, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what the dog pound was thinking. Why would you go to New York, do a video dissing New York? Are y'all stupid? And Biggie called out his shooters, called out his homies from Brooklyn, and they shot up the video. That is facts. Biggie tried to take Snoop out and damn near did. You know what? If Puffy and Suge were in the music business, hip hop would be in a great place. Oh, I 1,000% agree with that, brother. I 1,000% agree with that. Well, you said, man, you had the conversation many times. Hip hop, we got cheated out of some good music. We got cheated out of some good music. But it was done by design. Because, like I mentioned earlier, they saw that hip hop was promoting a new Black Power movement. They saw that. And so they said, nope, nope, nope. We can't have this. No, we can't have this. We can't have this. These niggas are getting excuse that expression, but these niggas are getting knowledge of self. They learn about their ancient history. We know they're great, but they don't know that they're great. But now they're learning it. So no, we gotta put an end to this. So here come gangster rap. Here come, disrespecting the black woman, promoting killing your brother. All this. And this led into the late 90s, early 2000s with the drill rap, with them goofballs down in New Orleans. Bling bling. Every time bling bling, it's like, oh my God. It's just the 504 boys, the hot boys. It just sipping on some scissor. Yeah, they were mad at special ed. I remember that. That was a couple years back. I think I spoke on that too. And see, here's the thing though. Gangster rap has always been around, even since the 80s. Uh Schoolie D from Philly is credited as the first gangster rapper. Ice-T borrowed from Schoolie D. That's right. Schoolie D was the first gangster rapper out of Philly in 86, 87. That's when Ice-T came out, about 87. And he credited Schoolie D for being the first gangster rapper. That's who Ice-T borrowed from. But they weren't glorifying selling drugs or calling out, disrespecting the black woman. They weren't doing that. They were warning us about the dangers of street life. Big difference. Big difference between warning you and glorifying it. Huge difference. So for that bishop to say that on that with that conversation with Judge Joe Brown and the real Dana, he missed the point. He missed the mark. And getting back on topic with that, no one brought up how the root cause of what caused the Civil War that we have in the black community. What was the root cause of it? Slavery. Slavery. It was. Slavery has done irreparable damage to the black community. I don't want to hear people say, well, you're blaming it on slavery. Get over it. We can't get over it because we deal with it on a goddamn daily basis. We can't get over it. And those same people, they never tell the Jews to get over the Holocaust. They never told them that. They wouldn't dare. They would get blamed for being anti-Semitic. So we're still dealing with the after effects of slavery. That doesn't mean that we should glorify in our dysfunction. We should, say, oh, well, woe is me, man, slavery, man. I can't get up and get a job because of the white man. I can't get up and take care of my family because of the white man. I can't start a business because of the white man. I can't do for self like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us to do decades ago because of the white man, because of slavery. No. You still can overcome. Hell, our ancestors overcame back in the 1920s. They were starting businesses. And they didn't have anywhere near the education that we have now. They sure as hell didn't have the technology that we possess now. So if they could overcome that 100, 110, 15, 20 years ago, we can't do it now. We can't start our own businesses, our own sports leagues, create our own Black Wall Street. A good example of this are the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, which yours truly is a registered member of. We're taught to do for self. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said years ago, I want to see wealthy Muslims. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. You're not supposed to be poor and broke and struggling all your damn life. That is a lie. That is a lie from hell. So, but that's what the root cause was for slavery. Slavery wasn't just physical. They didn't just, dish out physical pain on us. It was mental. It was meant to break the black family apart. Why do you think when they had our people on the auction block, they sold off the father in Virginia, they sold off to the mother in Georgia, and they took the children and they sold them off to Mississippi or Louisiana or Texas or somewhere? That's why it's such a disconnect within the black family. It happened because of slavery. This didn't happen just over the last 40 years, y'all. Yes, it's gotten worse over the last 40 years, but it didn't start then. So let's not get it twisted. Let's not blame hip hop for destroying the black family. That's a cop-out, and that's a lie. Now, hip hop does need to be held accountable for what it has become. I will agree with that. And I hate hip hop now. And this is someone who grew up on it. I hate it now. I absolutely hate it with every fiber of my being because it has been used to weaponize us. Something that we created has become a monster to destroy us. So, but slavery, it was meant to break the black family down, to destroy the black family. Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch syndrome, PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome, which Dr. Joy DeGruy wrote a book about 20 years ago. Check it out. She hit the nail on the head. And shout out to that sister. So all these things played a factor. Colorism. Light skin versus dark skin. We don't want to have that conversation anymore. I'm light skinned. I'm close to whiteness. No, you're not. You're just a light skinned nigga. I'm better than you. And I had this conversation with my cousin last night. Me and my cousin just had this conversation last night. I wish he was on here because he could speak to this. We had this conversation just last night. Just because you have letters before your name, don't make you better than me. Because you have a BS, a BA, a PhD, guess what? You just a smart ass nigga to them. You just a nigga with a degree. No matter if you're a doctor, attorney, engineer, whatever, in the computer, in the tech, whatever. You just a tech nigga, a smart nigga. But at the end of the day, you still a nigga to us. It doesn't matter. And until we realize what we up against, we will always lose. We will continue to fail. We will continue to be, minoring in the majoring in the minors. We will always continue to major in the minors because we got. Well, I'm part of a Greek letter fraternity or sorority. Whip the fucking do. Excuse me for saying that, but whip the fucking do. You just a frat brother or sorority sister. That's a nigga, and that's what white supremacy will see you as a nigga. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that when you see a black man or a black woman, you're looking at God. We teach people that they're gods. We don't teach them that being close to whiteness make them gods. No, the God is within you. You are God. You looking in God in the mirror every damn day. Just because they give you a degree, which you should get, it's nothing wrong with getting a degree. It's nothing wrong with getting an education. I'm not saying anything against that. So don't get it twisted. But that doesn't make you a god. Being close to white people and them giving you money and living next door to them in their neighborhoods, that don't make you a god-like. That don't make you like them. But our people have been brainwashed to believe that. You a god regardless of how much money you make. Regardless if you have a degree or not. You a god. And yes, every day we're striving to be better. You a God, not the supreme being. So just let me clarify that. There's only one supreme being, and that's Allah. But we are of his creation. We are made in his image. That makes us gods. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. So being close to whiteness, being, working in corporate America, getting a degree, living in suburbia, that doesn't make you that doesn't make you close to whiteness. That doesn't make you a god. No. Because they still see you as beneath them. You can make more money than they are. Look at all these athletes. There's a lot of white people that don't make as much money as Shannon Sharp. There's a lot of white people who don't make as much money as Stephen A. Smith, as Joy Reid, as Gayle King, as Oprah. But guess what? They still see them as niggas. Chris Rock told a joke back in the 90s. He said, the poorest white man would not trade places with me, and I'm rich. Y'all remember when Chris Rock told that joke? The poorest white man would not trade places with me if he could, and I'm rich. I want to ride this whiteness out, see where it takes me. That was a joke Chris Rock told. And he's right. The poorest white man would not trade places with Shedeur Sanders, with Lamar Jackson. Hell, not even with Patrick Mahomes. And he light-skinned it. The people kill me when they say that. I'm light-skinned it. They want to trade places with Patrick Mahomes. And he's married to a white woman. And that brother is wealthy. We're in trade places with Michael Jordan. And he's a billionaire. So no matter how much money you make, and Kadeem Hardison's character on A Different World, Dwayne Wayne said this on one of my favorite episodes of that show, A Different World. He said, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get, y'all still see me as a nigga. And it's the truth. That episode premiered 34 years ago. Almost 34 years ago. And here we are damn near in 2026, and things is still remain the same. It still remain the same. So, but no one said anything about on that conversation with Judge Joe Brown, a real Dana, a bishop, and it was a lady. Excuse me. There was a sister that called in from Cincinnati who was crying about, tell the brothers to stop shooting at us. Tell them to stop shooting at us. Tell them the single black mother she's under attack. I'm like, lady, you know who created the single black mother? How that was created goes back to white supremacy. In the 60s and in the 70s, feminists, white feminists, told the black woman that they didn't need the black man. This is right after the Civil Rights Bill. They told the black woman that she did not need the black man in the home. Meanwhile, these same women were going to bed with their husbands, seeing what were raising their families, were married to white men. These white feminists were still married to white men, but they told the black woman, you don't need the black man. You could do it on your own, girlfriend. And many, not all, but far too many black women took to it hook, line, and sinker. They created welfare. Welfare was to help you temporarily until you found a job. But in order for a black woman to get welfare, the husband or the father had to leave the home. Because if the husband was in the home, whether he worked or not, you could not get welfare. A good example of this is that movie Claudine with our late great sister Diahann Carroll. That movie came out in 1974. It's with Claudine was played by the late great Diahann Carroll, great sister, and our great brother, the late great James Earl Jones, played her love interest. In that movie, Claudine was trying to get welfare. And a caseworker would come and she would look in your house to see if there was a man's clothes there, a suit, shoes, a hat, whatso have you, and then they would deem a decision on if you could receive government assistance or not. This is the truth, y'all. That's what created the single black mother. Isaiah Thomas, my favorite basketball player of all time, Zeke, number 11, the great Isaiah Thomas, point guard for the Detroit Pistons, bad boy teams. He told a story that his father had to leave the home because his mother needed to receive welfare to take care of their family. They lived in squalor on the west side of Chicago in a tenement. And his father had to leave the home in order for his mother, the late great Mary Thomas, to receive welfare benefits. So that's what that created. So that's where that came from. But we don't want to have that discussion now. They didn't mention that in the conversation. They want to blame hip hop. They want to blame the black male. Yes, far too many of us black men need to get our act together. We have been a detriment to our sisters. This is true. Not all, but far too many of us have. And we need to get it together. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. But to blame all black men, that's what the feminists did. Meanwhile, they loving on the white man, but they telling you to hate the black man. Y'all, a lot of our people can't see the forest from the trees. Their head is so far stuck in the sand until it's ridiculous. They can't even hear the ocean waves. It's like, hello, this is why this is created. This is where this come from. This is the root cause of it. But they want to blame hip hop and the black man, which is a cop out and a bunch of lies. So that conversation, it was a waste of time because they just they just proved why there is a civil war in the black community. They didn't mention no solutions. From what I heard, I didn't hear any solutions. And the only solution, like I told my brother, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's no longer on the scene, is now the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They have the perfect solution. Make all men and boys join the FOI. Train them fast, make them brave warriors, brave fighters. Sisters, join the MGT, GCC. Learn a knowledge of self. Learn to take care of your temple, your land, how to eat to live. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us the blueprint for success, whether you be a Muslim or not. He gave the black community the blueprint for success. It's right there. It's right there. All you have to do is pick up the book, Message to the Black Man. Not just the black man that need to pick it up, the black woman can pick it up too, because it speaks to her. Pick up the book and it gives you the blueprint. It gives you the blueprint for success. Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, blessed the most honorable Elijah Muhammad with the blueprint. And he in turn taught our leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that blueprint. And he's teaching us till this day, until until he departs from us. So the blueprint is there. Whether you follow it or not, it's up to you. Like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan always say, you could take it or let it alone. So there it is. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. I'm gonna hop off of here, y'all. I hope I was able to get my point across. Hope y'all was able to get the gist of what I was saying. If so, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. I would love, love, love to hear your comments, read your comments. So please do that. Hit that thumbs up button, smash it down, hit that subscribe button. Share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Flood the algorithm with it. We need to have the conversation because it's greatly needed and we need solutions. Not just have the conversation, but we need solutions, y'all. So just keep that in mind. I know there are going to be those who disagree with me, and I'm cool with that. That's cool. It makes for great dialogue. But however, in our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, facts, and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. So, and then most importantly, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's do that, y'all. Support my YouTube channel here, my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. I thank y'all for y'all love and support. I don't take it for granted. I love y'all immensely, and keep supporting your brother because I need it. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So whether you're going to work, coming home from work, um, dropping the children off at school, picking them up. We know out here on the West Coast, they started school last week. In the South, they started school, I think 2 weeks ago. On the East Coast and in the Midwest, they're still on their summer break. But whether the children have gone back to school, you're picking them up, dropping them off on vacation, running errands, or just sitting around the house doing nothing. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So it behooves us to be on the lookout, to be as aware as possible. Now is not the time to be falling asleep and not paying attention. I will talk to y'all sooner than later. Inshallah, y'all have a blessed rest of your day. I love y'all. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum, family.